Peacekeepers work in some of the most difficult environments around the world to protect the vulnerable, support international peace and security. They leave behind their families, loved ones to answer to the call of duty. Fijian personnel in the UN peacekeeping has gained outstanding achievements over the years and have been a focus of national pride and international recognition. This week on Nations Business, we will bring you the highlights of the 40th anniversary celebration on Fiji's participation in global peacekeeping that was held around the country. In this first segment, we take you to Lambasa. The Republic of Fiji Military Forces, ex-servicemen, Fiji Police Force, Fiji Corrections Service, National Fire Authority and members of the public marched through Lambasa town to kickstart the celebrations. Their sacrifice and strong work ethic is a motivation to the younger generation to consider a career with the Republic of Fiji Military Forces after secondary education. The celebration in the north was about bringing the past into the present and future. Lambasa town was at a standstill during this auspicious occasion. The former president of Fiji, His Excellency Ratu Epeli Nailatikau, was part of the celebrations in the north.
Following the march is our soldiers from the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces.
The High Chief of Maduata, Lieutenant Colonel Ratu William Mekatunivere, officiated as chief guest at the celebration.
On behalf of the Minister of Defense, we extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest.
Officers on parade! Officers, salute!
It is indeed a privilege and an honor to join you today as we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Fiji's participation in peacekeeping missions abroad. Today is a day for celebration, a day of remembrance and reflection of the selfless sacrifice our troops made for the preservation of global peace. The journey for us began 40 years ago as a nation just gaining independence and looking for a way to contribute to nation building and effectively participate in global affairs.
The 40th anniversary of peacekeeping duties also honored the 60 lives who was lost during their service.
They will never be replaced in our families. We can replace them with our memories of what they have done for our nation, for our Vanua, for our family.
Aur na matai balu ina cinka diwa 5 ka diwa au regular force na cinka diwa 5 sa increase taki na matai balu sa bale butaki sa armai randa na la ko mai malea au ngai durani ke mamile diwa 5 ko no le ni matai balu na ngona or tau na instructor mai malea o ke mamina ngai durani me ke bale butaka na matai balu bi nango sa tiko sa raida ke na ka era rawat cinka $2 mai na $2 rau tolu $5 na allowance na ngau nago persa tau roir persa mai boli bale era boli motoka ke mami ngona teguna ke mami ngase ya ke mami wa binak na kaka sa ke mami sarai dan saya do satu mo na sautu ibiti na kalungata apita ko makike mlokin mai na basa bulan bakia u empaki chini gina ibita batai mate batai rusa bukali mai mate mai kia China mbaki nungu dada ka ine na lo ko mai o lesu lo ko mai China mbaki le mate do no ngone o robo bu ki to lo wana bata e tu le ka bangan don checkpoint lo wana kina mate sanda bumbulu ta ko China no ndara do na ka bina ka be una kana zakana songo e le buna ka ki mami nanu mu ki mami de zakana matantu na nu mi ki mami ki no ko ya ke mami na matantu na basa bulamba ke me vai tabi kine kia e va kaba kine ndu na songo wango de ndu na kai warau ta kan de ndu na kai na numi ke mami tuki ko ya do kina na songo
ndu na tu na alu ni nguni bela ko di sa rong na kadi ni sanding tagi masala ko gai tu talaga na alu yo na numero to na matu dina ni sa tu ngone wa bibin sa tu ngone e won be wan tangane ronela sara tumbu tumai sama lako Indonesia ko nende balateni nuke da bono ya dundu be doing kare mo tololom nanga yang bagindu yo rele be woni be batale so pula banga pula tolo relief la ona di bonwa wa be be balle wona matantu ni shuli tindo na una shuli ndona na songo me marota kina na bika sara ko tikimia da kabotili we na bingarabi pena tokalo lo ma ke burumura va be be dal tai bale na kena na no mi kima me ndona una me ke me sotal kina babu ngole bunga una ke mi senga tuni sota ndau sota ngai na uni ragi na mbose se nda sota bango ndona uni perin engaran sota.
Emotions were high and the atmosphere grew tensed as a team of RFMF soldiers enacted a scene on how soldiers carried out their duties.
Saya tidak menggubungi saya tidak menggubungi Rosa bila tadi kami Yorino na kenokobo la itataro na motoka me takuni maimate enolo mani checkpoint nibiti. Yorto shenikira.
This particular act paid tribute to the loss of 4 Fijian soldiers. In Lautoka, a church service was held at the Coronation Church, attended by families of retired and former peacekeepers, members of the defense forces, civil servants, and the public. Minister for Youth and Sports Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Laisenia Tuitumbo was chief guest at the celebrations in Lautoka. He was accompanied by Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Major General Ioane Naibalurua, Commissioner Western, Lieutenant Colonel Manasa Tangitha Kimbau, and other former servicemen and women and their families. On Monday, June 11th, 2018, Lautoka came to a standstill to mark Fiji's 40 years of peacekeeping under the United Nations with a march through the city. The administration capital of the Western Division came to a halt as members of the defense forces joined the retired servicemen and women and family members marched through the city. Donning UN peacekeeping colors, the march through the city to Churchill Park was filled with cheers and laughter as retired soldiers met their comrades and marched shoulder to shoulder.
It was 40 years ago. We began a journey as newly independent country, trying to establish ourselves in the world. And peacekeeping was a vision that not only lifted out our footprints around the globe, it also contributed in the very essence of our participation, which is nation building. Peacekeeping has played an integral role in Fiji's development and in Fiji's perception. Peacekeeping is an important foreign policy instrument for the nation.
The march concluded with a parade at Churchill Park. Minister for Youth and Sports Honorable Laisenia Tuitumbo also reviewed a parade mounted by members of the Republic of Fiji Military Forces, the Fiji Police Force, Fiji Corrections Service, and former peacekeepers. The parade ended with a moment of silence followed by a wreath-laying ceremony.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn them. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
His Excellency former President of Fiji Brigadier General retired Ratu Epeli Nailatikau, who led the 1st Fiji Battalion to Lebanon in 1978, also joined his comrades at the event. For many like Brigadier Nailatikau, it was a moment to cherish and revisit.
Yes, peacekeeping has given us the opportunity, to interrelate with other nations in the world, and especially those that are under the peacekeeping, under the UN. Fiji is regarded as where the best peacekeepers come from. 7 peacekeeping has opened the doors for us. It has also elevated some of our personal Fijians to higher positions with the UN. and then now we become recognized.
I enjoyed mission also, and it was a good exposure for me as a female officer, and it was a very good opportunity for exposing our work experiences as in Fiji Police Force.
You know, they sacrifice their lives for peace. Yeah? Peace throughout the world, and also peace in our country. Yeah? That was the main reason why we went. It's good. We are satisfied with that. We are happy with that because we have given some back to the country and to the world.
Following the parade, a luncheon was held for all the attendees before a sebu-sebu was presented to Ratu Epeli by his comrades.
Our question for this week: how many years has Fiji participated in UN peacekeeping? A. 20 years, B. 40 years, C. 70 years, and D. 80 years. If you think you know the answer to this week's question, please log on to the Fijian government's Facebook page for your answers. 5 lucky winners will receive a copy of this week's Nation's Business DVD. Submit your answers before 4 p.m. Thursday, 20th September 2018.
In this segment, we bring you the closing of the symposium that was held at the Grand Pacific Hotel on June 15th, 2018. For the past 40 years, Fijian peacekeepers have defended the defenseless, protecting innocent civilians and children in areas around the world fraught with danger and conflict. The legacy of Fijian peacekeepers continues today through the nearly 900 brave Fijians currently serving around the world. Closing the symposium, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama said Fijian peacekeepers have done their country proud through their sacrifice in maintaining global peace.
Our peacekeepers carry on a proud Fijian legacy that stretches as far back as the First World War. As for over a century, Fijians have answered the call of the vulnerable, bravely risking their lives for the sake of peace whenever and wherever the need has arisen. Driven solely by the pursuit of peace, Fijian soldiers have braved some of the most dangerous and volatile regions on earth.
The Prime Minister added peacekeepers served in the Middle East in countries like Sinai Peninsula, Kuwait, Iraq, and Syria. Also in Africa from Darfur to South Sudan, Liberia, and Namibia.
From as far as Eastern Europe, Bosnia and Kosovo, to as near as our fellow Asia-Pacific nations like Cambodia, Timor-Leste, and the Solomon Islands. Fijian peacekeepers have stood shoulder to shoulder with the finest military forces on the planet, working to build a more harmonious future for the world's children to inherit. No matter how different the region they serve, throughout these 40 years of service, one thing has remained constant. our Fijian peacekeepers have sacrificed, they have persevered, and they have brought immeasurable honor, glory, and pride to our great nation.
Former peacekeeper Sakaraya Volisi said the celebration was humbling as it recognized the hard work carried out by peacekeepers over the years.
I was recruited into the army in 1972, and it changes my life. The using of time, the dress code, it gives me more discipline, which in my life from that time till now.
Mr. Volisi said he left his family when he was 25 years old to join the military.
You have to leave your family, a young family. When I first went to the Middle East, I was only 25. And it was a hobby for me to travel. I do it as a hobby for my life. So I make use of a trip that I usually, we work our hearts out. And with honesty and everything. We don't even go for the money or what. Just of the task that we are had. We are called for the country and the people of Fiji. So we did it from the bottom of our heart.
He now resides in Sydney, Australia, and is a member of the Fiji Ex-Servicemen Club in Sydney.
After agreement was reached, a quick visit was made to the field command in Lebanon by the commander of the Royal Fiji Military Forces, Colonel Paul Manueli, who was then able to brief the officers going to the Middle East.
The Fiji battalion has been allocated this area here, with the Irish battalion to our right. The area...
Major, now Lieutenant Colonel Ratu Epeli Latikau, was chosen as the battalion's commanding officer.
In 1978, former President of Fiji, His Excellency Ratu Epeli Latikau, served on secondment in the 1st Battalion. Mr. Latikau shared some of his experience at the symposium.
Ratu Penaya is standing there. He was our first visitor to Lebanon. Ratu Penaya is the one in the safari jacket with the glasses. We had a problem. Because when we have dignitaries visiting, we have to perform a ceremony of welcome. And for us in Fiji, as you all well know, we have to represent the Sevu Sevu and the Ngona Bagaturanga and Wasini Ngona. So we couldn't find any pigs in Lebanon. So there was talk of whether we should get fish, which is often the case as well, that you can present that, or a sheep, or a goat. We looked around for this. So I happened to go down to Tel Aviv, and I was staying at this hotel, and there was a former British Army fellow there who was a bowler. And we got to know each other, had a couple of years together, and he said, "How's Lebanon going?" I said, "Oh, getting on fine." Got any problems there? I said, "Yes, we've got a problem right now, but it's not on the operational side, it's on the ceremonial side." He said, what's wrong? I said, "We want to get a pig for our ceremony." He said, "There's no problem." I said, "What?" "It's no problem. Go to this butcher here on this street." And I walked into this big butcher shop. Walked in, and they could see me. This guy came up, he's the manager, because they're all looking at me. He said, "Is there anything in particular you after?" I said, "Yes, we're after a pig." And he said, "How many?" So I was surprised. I know, he said, "Just one." He said, "How big?" I said, "Oh, this time, but this way." He said, "You want dressed or undressed?" I said, "Dressed." He said, "Okay." He said, "When do you want it?" I said, "We want it on Saturday." He said, "Look, you better come and get it on Friday." before noon on Friday. I said, okay, what's the cost? I said, I said, I'll pay for it now and my guys will come and get it. He said, no problem. When you come pick it up, you can pay for it then. Okay, I said, fine. Well, you made me very happy. So as I was about to leave, I looked at him and he said, any other thing you want to know? I said, hey, you know, I thought you Jews didn't handle the pork and that. He said, hey, this is business.
His Excellency the President Tiochi Konrote said the significant increases in peacekeeping allowances that have now made employment in the RFMF an institution of choice, all done in recognition of the incredible work that our peacekeepers are conducting around the world.
As a nation, Fiji has also gained much from our contribution to peacekeeping. Internationally, our reputation as one of the best and effective peacekeeping group contributing countries is well known throughout the world. And here at home in Fiji, the jobs and stability from these missions have allowed tens of thousands of Fijians to provide for themselves and their families. It is, to a large extent, on the backdrop of the international reputation our peacekeepers have earned for Fiji that we are able to secure the support of many UN member countries in our ongoing efforts to develop and modernize our nation.
He thanked servicemen and women for their sacrifice in the cause of global peace and paid tribute to the 56 servicemen who lost their lives in the line of duty.
Many more soldiers suffered injury and hardship while deployed in the name of the nation, and we should also remember their service and sacrifice. Theirs is a noble vision, to protect the innocent from violence. They prevent the escalation of violence that destroys families and communities and destabilizes countries. Their exemplary service has directly contributed to the reputation of Fijian forces as effective soldiers and excellent peacekeepers. We should be proud of their sacrifice and their service.